Hey there, it's your family doctor. Thanks for being here today. Take a deep breath with me for a second. You clicked on this video for a reason. Maybe you love tomatoes. Maybe you have high blood pressure. Maybe your doctor mentioned something about your kidneys last time you got your blood work done. Or maybe you just want to feel better. Whatever brought you here, welcome. You are in the right place. Now, I want to ask you something that might sound a little dramatic at first, but I promise you by the end of this video, you will understand why I am asking it. What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, there might be a ticking time bomb sitting in your kitchen? Not rat poison, not bleach, not a chemical cleaner, a fruit that the internet, magazines, and even some doctors call an anti-cancer superstar. But here's the truth that I have seen with my own eyes, sitting across from real patients in my exam room, standing over hospital beds in the ICU, holding the hands of families in the middle of the night every single year around the world. More than 8.5 million people eat this fruit the wrong way, and that mistake leads them down a road toward kidney failure, cardiac arrest, and death. I know that sounds extreme. Stay with me. What is even scarier? 90% of people think they are eating it the right way. They think they are being healthy, but every bite, every single bite, is quietly pushing them closer to serious danger. But here's the twist, the part that confuses everyone. The exact same fruit, someone else eats it every day. They live to be 80 years old. Their kidneys look like they belong to a 50-year-old. They go for a run by the beach every morning. They have energy. They feel good. Same fruit, completely different outcome. So what is the difference? It is not the fruit itself. I want to be very clear about that. The fruit is not the enemy. The difference is what happens inside your body the moment you swallow it. The difference is whether that bite is saving your life or quietly, slowly pushing you toward the emergency room. I am a board certified family physician. I have been taking care of families for a long time. I have seen this story play out more times than I can count. Let me tell you about one of those stories because I think you will recognize yourself or someone you love in it. The story of a real patient, part one, last winter, late at night, the kind of night where the ER is quiet for a minute, then everything happens at once. A 72-year-old grandmother was rushed into our emergency room. Let's call her Mrs. Lynn. She was a retired school teacher. She taught for 30 years. She raised her kids. She was helping raise her grandkids that night. Her heart was not beating normally. It was all over the place. The monitor showed a chaotic rhythm. The nurses were moving fast. The cardiologist was called in. Her potassium level came back from the lab. 7.2, normal potassium is between 3.5 and 5.0. 7.2 is almost double the upper limit. At that level, the heart can simply stop. No warning. No second chance. The cause of that sky-high potassium, we traced it back to her kitchen tomatoes. But wait, let me tell you about another patient, because if I only told you the scary story, you would never eat a tomato again, and that would be a shame. Let me tell you about Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen is 80 years old. He lives not far from a small harbor. Every morning at 5 a.m., he goes for a 5-kilometer run along the water. 5 kilometers at 80 years old. His skin still has good elasticity. His eyes are clear. His energy is better than many of my patients in their 40s and 50s. And here is the part that shocks every medical student who looks at his chart. His kidney function tests look like a healthy 50-year-old's 80-year-old man, 50-year-old kidneys. He has eaten tomatoes almost every single day for 40 years. Same tomato. One sent a 72-year-old grandmother to the ICU. One helped an 80-year-old grandfather thrive. What is going on over the next 15 minutes or so? I am going to completely explain this mystery. I am going to give you the science. I am going to give you the practical steps, and I am going to give you a 30-day challenge to put this into practice. But before I do that, I need you to do one small thing for me in the comments below. Just type the number one, just the number one. That tells the YouTube algorithm that real people are watching this content. That helps more people find this video. And it tells me that you are paying attention, because what comes next could genuinely change the way you eat for the rest of your life. Why tomatoes are called red gold. Let me start with the good news, because tomatoes really are remarkable. They are not the enemy. They are just misunderstood. You see that bright, beautiful red color, the kind of red that makes a tomato look like it belongs on the cover of a magazine. That is not just for decoration, that is lycopene. Lycopene is one of the most powerful antioxidants that scientists have ever discovered. It is a natural compound made by the tomato plant, and it is incredibly good at protecting your cells from damage. How powerful? Let me give you some numbers so you understand. Lycopene fights free radicals 100 times better than vitamin E, 100 times, and it is more than double as powerful as beta carotene. Now, what on earth is a free radical? Let me give you an image that will stick in your head. Imagine your body is a busy American city. Let's say it is a city like Chicago or New York or Los Angeles. Every single day, just by living your life, by breathing, by eating food, by going out in the sun, by feeling stressed about work or money or your kids, your body produces things called free radicals. Think of free radicals like vandals. Like teenagers running around the city at night setting small fires. They are not trying to destroy the whole city at once, but they are lighting little fires everywhere. They damage your cell walls, they mess with your DNA, they speed up the aging process, and over many years, they increase your risk of cancer and heart disease. Lycopene is like a 24-hour a day. 7 day a week fire department. It drives around the city putting out those little fires before they can spread. I am not making this up. This is not alternative medicine. This is mainstream, peer reviewed, published medical science. In 2002, Harvard Medical School published a study that shook the nutrition world. They followed 47,000 men for 10 full years. That is a massive study, almost 50,000 men, a decade of follow-up. And here is what they found. Men who ate tomatoes 10 or more times per week lowered their risk of prostate cancer by 35%. Let me say that again, 35% lower risk of prostate cancer. And the benefits did not stop at prostate cancer. The same study found meaningful risk reduction for lung cancer, stomach cancer, and colon cancer. Other studies have since confirmed these findings. Tomatoes, when eaten correctly, are genuinely good for you. So far, so good, right? Well, here's the problem, and it is a big problem. If you eat tomatoes the wrong way, you absorb almost none of that beautiful cancer-fighting lycopene. You get the calories, you get the potassium, but you get almost none of the benefit. The raw problem, your digestive system is not a cow. Here's the thing that most people do not know, and this is not your fault. No one tells you this. Lycopene is trapped inside the tomato cell walls. Think of the tomato cell wall like a safe. The lycopene is the treasure, but that safe is locked. Our human digestive system does not have the tools to easily open that safe. We do not produce the enzymes that break down plant cell walls effectively. Think about a cow for a second. A cow can eat grass, tough, fibrous, hard to digest grass, and turn it into energy and muscle and milk. Why? Because cows have a special stomach with bacteria that produce enzymes that break down plant cell walls. Humans do not have that. So when you eat a raw tomato in a salad, on a sandwich, sliced on a plate next to your eggs, most of the lycopene passes all the way through your small intestine and your large intestine and comes out the other side. It is never absorbed. You are holding a treasure chest. But you do not have the key, so the treasure goes to waste. But that is not the dangerous part. The dangerous part is potassium, the potassium problem, especially as we age. Tomatoes are naturally high in potassium. And for most people, potassium is a good thing. Your muscles need potassium to contract. Your heart needs potassium to beat. You can buy potassium supplements at Walmart, at Walgreens, at CVS. It is essential for life. But here's the thing that changes everything as we get older. Your kidneys filter your blood. Think of your kidneys as a very sophisticated water filter, the kind you might buy for your refrigerator or your kitchen sink. A healthy kidney filters out extra potassium and keeps your blood level in a very narrow, very specific, safe range. But kidney function naturally declines with age. It is just a fact of being human. After age 40, your kidney function slowly, gradually decreases. And if you have certain medical conditions, especially high blood pressure, which affects nearly half of all American adults, or diabetes, which affects more than 37 million Americans, that decline happens faster. That filter gets clogged. When kidney function drops, potassium builds up in your blood. It does not get filtered out. It just keeps rising. The scary part early on, there are almost no symptoms. First, you might feel a little heaviness in your legs. You might think, I am just getting older. I stood too long at work today. Then your fingers might start to tingle a little bit. You might drop a fork at dinner. You might have trouble buttoning your shirt. Then you might feel weak walking up the stairs from the garage. You might have to stop halfway to catch your breath. This is the most dangerous phase because most people ignore these signs. They think they are just tired. They think they are out of shape. They think they need more rest. So they rest for a weekend and they keep eating the same healthy foods. But if potassium keeps climbing, it starts attacking your heart directly. Your heart runs on electrical signals. A normal heartbeat is a beautiful, regular rhythm. High potassium levels scramble those electrical signals like static on a radio station. The heart starts to beat irregularly. It might race, it might pause, it might flutter. And at very high levels, levels like 7.2, the heart can simply stop. No warning, no chest pain beforehand. Sometimes just sudden cardiac arrest. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying this because I have watched it happen. And it is preventable, completely preventable. Back to Mrs. Lynn, the full story. Let me tell you the rest of Mrs. Lynn's story now, because understanding exactly what happened to her is the best way to make sure it never happens to you. Mrs. Lynn was 72 years old. She lived in an older neighborhood. Her home was a small apartment on the fourth floor of a building with no elevator. Every morning she would walk down those stairs, step by step, holding the railing. Then she would walk to the local grocery store, not a big chain store like Kroger or Safeway. A small neighborhood market where the produce guy knew her name. She would pick out her vegetables for the day. She would stop at a little coffee shop, not Starbucks, a local place, and have a cup of coffee and maybe a small pastry. Then she would walk back home, climb those 4 flights of stairs, and start cooking lunch for her grandson. Mrs. Lynn was active. She was sharp. She walked faster than people 20 years younger than her. But last spring, she went for her regular checkup. She had blood work done. I got the results. Her creatinine was slightly elevated, not dangerously high, but elevated. Creatinine is a waste product that healthy kidneys filter out of your blood. When creatinine creeps up, it is often an early sign that kidney function is declining. I sat down with Mrs. Lynn in my exam room. She looked at me with worry in her eyes. She asked me, "Is my kidney disease very serious?" I told her the truth. I said, "Right now it is not severe, but we do need to pay attention to it. We need to watch what you eat. We need to check your labs again in a few months." She nodded. She was a practical woman. She asked, "What should I do? I do not want to be a burden on my children." I gave her some general advice. Cut back on processed foods. Watch your salt intake, stay hydrated, come back for a follow-up. She wrote everything down in a little notebook she carried in her purse. She shook my hand firmly and said, "Doctor, I will get better. Do not worry about me." I smiled. I thought she would be fine. I was wrong. 2 weeks later, she came back for a follow-up appointment. She walked into my exam room practically bouncing with excitement. "Doctor," she said, "I found the answer." "What answer?" I asked. "Tomatoes." She said, "I read online that tomatoes are good for kidneys and they prevent cancer and they slow down aging. So every morning now I blend 5 fresh tomatoes into juice. I drink it first thing. I am going to beat this kidney thing." I remember feeling a small knot of worry in my stomach, but she looked so happy, so hopeful. So I just said, "That is great that you are being proactive. Just be careful not to overdo it. Everything in moderation." I should have asked her how she was eating them. I should have asked if she was cooking them. I should have asked if she was adding oil. I should have asked if she had heard about the potassium risk. I did not ask those questions, and I have thought about that missed opportunity 100 times since that night. Mrs. Lynn went home and doubled down on her tomato juice. She thought, if a little is good, more is better. She thought television said it is healthy. The doctor did not say no. So I should do even more. She did not know that danger was quietly, silently building inside her blood. The warning signs that she missed. The first week was fine. In fact, she felt good. Her skin looked a little brighter. She felt a little lighter. She had more confidence. She kept drinking her 5 tomato juice every morning. The second week, she went for a hike with her walking group. She usually led the pack. She was always in front, but this time something was different. Her legs felt heavy. She had to stop every few minutes. Her thighs were trembling. "I must be tired," she told herself. "I have been pushing too hard." The third week, something strange happened at dinner. She was eating with her daughter and her grandson. She tried to pick up her chopsticks to get a piece of vegetable. Her fingers would not cooperate. The chopsticks slipped out of her hand and clattered onto the table. She tried again, same thing. Her daughter noticed. "Mom, what is wrong with your hand?" Mrs. Lynn smiled and said, "Nothing, I just held the grocery bag too long today." But that night, lying in bed alone, she looked at her hands. They were trembling slightly. She felt a small cold thread of fear in her chest. She pushed it away. "I'm just getting older," she told herself. "This is normal." The fourth week, things got worse. She woke up one morning and felt like she had been hit by a truck. No energy, no strength. Climbing those 4 flights of stairs took 3 rests. Her feet felt like she was walking on cotton balls. Her lips and fingers felt tingly, like they had fallen asleep. She still did not call me. She still drank her tomato juice. More of it, actually, because in her mind, feeling bad meant she needed more nutrition, more healthy food, more tomatoes. She was wrong. She was pushing herself closer and closer to the edge of a cliff, and she did not even know the cliff was there. The night everything changed, the night came on day 28, 11:45 p.m. I was at home getting ready to turn off the lights. My phone rang. It was Mrs. Lynn's daughter. Her voice was shaking. She was crying. "Doctor, something is really wrong with my mom." She said her chest feels very tight. "Her heart feels like it is jumping around. We called 911. The ambulance is coming. Please meet us at the hospital." I threw on a jacket and drove to the ER. When I walked in, I saw Mrs. Lynn lying on a gurney. Her face was pale, not just pale gray. The color of old paper, her forehead was covered in cold sweat, her hands were shaking uncontrollably. The cardiac monitor next to her bed was showing a chaotic pattern, not a normal heartbeat, something irregular, something dangerous. The ear doctor handed me the blood test results, potassium 7.2. I felt my own heart sink. Normal is 3.5 to 5.0, 7.2 is almost double the upper limit. At that level, cardiac arrest is not a possibility, it is a probability. The team started working immediately, IV medications to drive potassium from her blood into her cells, continuous heart monitoring, preparations for emergency dialysis, 2 hours of treatment. Her heart rhythm finally started to stabilize, but her potassium level was still dangerously high. The nephrologist, the kidney specialist, said she needed emergency dialysis to pull that potassium out of her blood. 4 hours of dialysis. The machine did the work that her kidneys could not do. Slowly, hour by hour, her potassium level came down. At 5 o'clock in the morning. She was out of immediate danger. A week later, she came to my office for a follow-up appointment. She walked in slowly, still weak, still recovering. She sat down in the chair across from my desk, and then she started to cry. Not loud, dramatic sobs, quiet tears. The kind of tears that come from deep exhaustion and deep fear. She took my hand. Her voice was barely a whisper. She said, "Dr. Tomatoes nearly killed me." I gave her a box of tissues. I let her cry. She said, "I just wanted to be healthy. I read it online. I saw it on television. I tried so hard. I did everything right. How was I supposed to know?" And that is the moment that has stayed with me. She did nothing wrong. She was not lazy. She was not stupid. She was not careless. She was trying. She was trying so hard to take care of herself, and the information she found online was incomplete. No one told her that how you eat tomatoes is just as important as that you eat them. No one told her that for some people, a raw tomato every morning is not medicine. It is a slow, quiet poison. The 3 fatal mistakes. Let me break down exactly what Mrs. Lynn did wrong, not to blame her, to make sure you do not make the same mistakes. Mistake number 1, she ate her tomatoes raw, blended into a cold juice, no heat, no oil. Her body absorbed almost none of the lycopene, so she got none of the anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer benefits. She was taking all the risk and getting almost none of the reward. Mistake number 2, she ate 5 tomatoes every single day. That is a massive potassium load. For a person with healthy kidneys, that is probably fine. But Mrs. Lynn already had early kidney function decline. Her filter was already a little clogged. She was pouring potassium into a system that could not flush it out. Mistake number 3, she ignored the warning signs, leg weakness, tingling fingers, fatigue. These are classic symptoms of high potassium, but she told herself she was just tired. She told herself she was just getting older. She did not call her doctor. She did not get her blood checked. She kept eating the same way until she ended up in the ER. 3 mistakes, completely preventable, and they almost cost her her life. The good news, you can eat tomatoes safely. Now take a breath with me, because here's the good news. You can eat tomatoes. You should eat tomatoes. They are genuinely healthy when eaten correctly. You just need to know the rules. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 6 secrets. These come from decades of clinical experience, from reading the medical literature and from watching patients like Mr. Chen, the 80-year-old with 50-year-old kidneys, succeed where others have failed. These 6 secrets are simple, they are practical, and they work. Secret number 1, no sugar. A pinch of salt. I know this one surprises people. Many of us grew up eating sliced tomatoes with a sprinkle of sugar on top. It cuts the acidity. It makes them taste sweeter. It is a comfort food for a lot of families. Please stop doing that today. Here's the science. Tomatoes contain vitamin B1. Vitamin B1 is also called thiamine. This vitamin is essential for turning the carbohydrates you eat into energy that your body can use. It is what gives you the physical energy to walk, to climb stairs, to play with your kids or grandkids, to get through your workday without crashing. When you add sugar to tomatoes, your body has to use up that precious vitamin B1 just to process the sugar. The B1 gets spent on metabolizing the sugar instead of giving you energy. You end up with zero benefit from the B1. But that is not the only problem. Adding sugar causes your blood sugar to spike quickly. Frequent blood sugar spikes, the kind that happen when you add sugar to foods throughout the day, damage the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys over time. That damage adds up. It accelerates kidney decline. I call this nutritional suicide. You are eating tomatoes for health, but you are adding sugar, which hurts your kidneys. It is like taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. So what should you do instead? A tiny pinch of salt, Not a lot, not a heavy sprinkle, just a few grains. The amount you can hold between your thumb and your index finger. Salt actually reduces the perception of acidity and brings out the natural sweetness of the tomato. This is a well-known phenomenon in food science. It is called flavor contrast, the same reason a little salt on watermelon makes it taste sweeter. The same reason salted caramel is so popular. For 4 or 5 tomatoes, 1 to 2 tiny pinches of salt is plenty. That amount will not affect your blood pressure. It will not put you over your daily sodium limit, but it will protect your B vitamins and make your tomatoes taste better. So no sugar, a pinch of salt. That is secret number 1. Secret number 2, cook your tomatoes for at least 30 minutes. This is the single most important tip in this entire video. If you remember nothing else, remember this. We have been told our whole lives, eat your vegetables raw. Raw is healthy. Cooking kills nutrients for almost every other vegetable. That is good advice. Broccoli, better raw or lightly steamed. Spinach, raw is fine. Bell peppers, great raw, but tomatoes are different, completely different. Remember what I said earlier about lycopene being locked inside tomato cell walls. Heat is the key that unlocks that safe. When you cook tomatoes, the heat breaks down the cell walls. The lycopene is released. Your digestive system can finally absorb it. In 2018, a major university nutrition study proved this in a very clear way. Researchers took 120 healthy volunteers. They split them into 2 groups. Group A ate 2 raw tomatoes every single day. Group B ate cooked tomatoes every single day, heated for 30 minutes after 3 months. The researchers drew blood and measured lycopene levels. The results were stunning. Group B, the cooked tomato group, had 5.3 times more lycopene in their blood than Group A, 5.3 times. Same number of tomatoes, same amount of time. Just cooked versus raw. So cook your tomatoes, stew them, roast them, saute them. Simmer them into a sauce, bake them in the oven, put them in a soup. As long as you apply heat for at least 30 minutes, you are unlocking that lycopene treasure chest. This is not complicated. It just requires remembering that tomatoes are the exception to the raw is better rule. Secret number 3, always add healthy fat. Here is another piece of the puzzle. Lycopene is what nutrition scientists call fat soluble. That means it does not dissolve in water, it dissolves in fat and oil. If you cook tomatoes without any fat, your body still struggles to absorb the lycopene. The cell walls are broken down, but the lycopene is just floating there. It needs something to carry it across the wall of your small intestine and into your bloodstream. Fat is that carrier. A 2004 study from Ohio State University, published in a peer-reviewed nutrition journal, looked at this exact question. They compared raw tomatoes, cooked tomatoes without oil, and cooked tomatoes with olive oil. The result: cooked tomatoes with olive oil increased lycopene absorption by almost 11 times compared to raw tomatoes 11 times. So when you cook your tomatoes, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of a healthy oil. Olive oil is excellent. Avocado oil is great. Sesame oil works. Coconut oil, grapeseed oil, even a pat of butter, all of them work. The oil dissolves the lycopene. Your small intestine absorbs the oil. The lycopene comes along for the ride. It is that simple. So cook your tomatoes, add oil. That is the magic combination. Secret number 4, if your kidneys are not perfect, blanch first. This secret is specifically for people who need to be careful about potassium, who needs to be careful. Anyone over 60, anyone with diabetes, anyone with high blood pressure, anyone whose doctor has ever said your kidney numbers are a little off, anyone who has had a kidney stone, anyone with a family history of kidney disease, if that is you. And millions of Americans fall into these categories. Please pay close attention. Cooking tomatoes does not remove potassium. The potassium stays in the tomato even after 30 minutes of simmering. Most of the potassium is still there, but boiling and then throwing away the water does remove potassium. Here is the simple 2-minute method that could save you from ending up in the ER like Mrs. Lynn. Step 1, bring a pot of water to a rolling boil. Step 2, take your fresh tomatoes, wash them first, and drop them into the boiling water. Step 3, leave them there for just 10 to 20 seconds. Count it out: 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. That is all it takes. Step 4, pull the tomatoes out, put them in a bowl of cold water or run them under cold tap water to stop the cooking. Step 5, here is the most important part. Pour that boiling water down the sink. Do not save it. Do not use it for soup. Do not drink it. Throw it away. That water now contains a significant amount of the potassium that leached out of the tomatoes. A 2019 study published in a major kidney medicine journal tested this exact method. Researchers found that blanching tomatoes for just 10 to 20 seconds removed 32 to 38% of the potassium, almost one-third. While leaving the lycopene almost completely intact because lycopene is not water soluble, it stays in the tomato flesh. After blanching, you can cook your tomatoes normally with oil. For 30 minutes, you get the maximum lycopene absorption with a significantly lower potassium load. For people with known kidney disease, talk to your own doctor about your specific potassium target. But for almost everyone with mild to moderate kidney function decline, blanching is a safe and effective strategy. Secret number 5, 3 minutes of gentle belly massage after eating. I know this one sounds a little unusual, a little new age, a little like something you might see on a wellness influencer's Instagram story, but stay with me because many of my patients have tried this and found it genuinely helpful. Here is what you do after you finish eating your cooked tomatoes. Wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes so your stomach is not completely full. Find a comfortable place to sit or lie down. Rub your hands together briskly for a few seconds until they feel warm. Then place your warm palms on your belly right around your belly button. Now, very gently, and I mean gently, massage your belly in a clockwise circle. Do not press hard, do not dig in, just a soft, gentle, loving touch. Imagine you are soothing a baby's tummy. Continue for 3 minutes. You can set a timer on your phone. Why does this help? Gentle abdominal massage stimulates peristalsis, the wave-like movements of your intestines that push food through your digestive tract. When you stimulate those movements, your food spends more time in contact with the wall of your small intestine. That means more nutrients, including lycopene, are absorbed. Additionally, abdominal massage increases blood flow to your digestive organs and your kidneys. Better blood flow to the kidneys means they can filter waste products more efficiently. I have had dozens of patients try this over the years. Many of them report less bloating, less gas, a feeling of lightness in their belly. Some say it helps with constipation, and it costs nothing. It takes 3 minutes. You can do it while watching television, listening to a podcast, or just sitting quietly before bed. So cooked tomatoes, oil, and 3 minutes of belly massage. That is a powerful combination. Secret number 6, tomato ice cubes for busy people. Now, let me be realistic with you. I know you are busy. I know you are not going to cook fresh tomatoes for 30 minutes every single night. You have a job, you have kids, you have a commute, you have laundry. You have a million things on your to-do list. This secret is for you. This is the meal prep shortcut that makes the whole system work for real life. I call these tomato ice cubes. Here is how you make them. I will give you the step-by-step. Step 1, buy about 2 pounds of fresh, ripe tomatoes. That is roughly the size of a standard grocery store bag. You can get them at Walmart, Kroger, Safeway, Costco, any farmer's market, anywhere. Step 2, wash them thoroughly. Cut a small X shape, just a shallow cut, into the bottom of each tomato. This helps the skin loosen during blanching. Step 3, bring a large pot of water to a rolling boil. Step 4, drop the tomatoes into the boiling water for 10 to 20 seconds. Exactly like we talked about in secret number 4, this blanches them, removes some potassium, and loosens the skins. Step 5, use a slotted spoon to transfer the tomatoes to a bowl of cold water or run them under cold tap water. Once they are cool enough to handle, the skins will slide right off. Peel them and discard the skins. Step 6, put the peeled tomatoes into a blender. Add 1 tablespoon of olive oil or any healthy oil you have. Add 1 tiny pinch of salt. Step 7, blend until completely smooth. Step 8, pour the tomato mixture into a small pot. Bring it to a gentle simmer over low heat. Let it cook for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. This is the final heating step that unlocks the lycopene. Step 9, let the mixture cool to room temperature. Step 10, pour the mixture into ice cube trays. Any standard ice cube tray will work. Step 11, put the trays in the freezer. Once the cubes are completely frozen, pop them out and store them in a sealed freezer bag or a sealed plastic container. These tomato ice cubes will keep in your freezer for 2 to 3 months, maybe longer, but they probably will not last that long because you will use them. Now, how do you use them? Anytime you are cooking something hot, drop in 2 or 3 tomato cubes. Make a pot of soup, drop in tomato cubes. Make pasta sauce from a jar, drop in tomato cubes to boost the nutrition. Make boxed mac and cheese for your kids. Drop in a tomato cube. Make ramen noodles for a quick lunch. Drop in 2 tomato cubes. Make chili, curry, stew, or even scrambled eggs. Tomato cubes. The cubes melt instantly. They stir right in. You do not taste a strong tomato flavor if you only use a few cubes, but you get all the benefits: cooked tomatoes, oil already added, potassium already reduced by blanching. This is how busy people make healthy eating sustainable. You invest 1 hour on a Sunday afternoon, you get months of convenience. I keep tomato ice cubes in my own freezer. My family uses them all the time. They are one of the simplest, most practical health hacks I've ever found. If this tip helps you, give this video a thumbs up right now and consider screenshotting the steps so you have them saved on your phone. The story of Mr. Chen, hope and inspiration. Now I want to tell you about Mr. Chen again, but this time I want to give you the full story because his story is the other side of Mrs. Lin's story. His story is the proof that tomatoes can be medicine when eaten correctly. Mr. Chen is 80 years old. He lives in a small house not far from the water. He can see the ocean from his front window. Every morning at 5 a.m., he puts on his running shoes and goes for a 5-kilometer run along the beach path. 5 kilometers at 80 years old. His pace is not fast. He is not trying to win a race, but he finishes every single morning. His skin has good tone. His eyes are clear and bright. His mind is sharp. When you meet him, you would guess he is maybe 65. Not 80, but here's the part that makes doctors do a double take. His kidney function tests, the lab results that measure how well his kidneys are filtering his blood, look like a healthy 50-year-old's. His creatinine is normal, his potassium is normal, his GFR, the glomerular filtration rate, which is the best single number for kidney health, is in the normal range for a person decades younger. 80-year-old man, 50-year-old kidneys. How did this happen? 40 years ago, when Mr. Chen was 40 years old, he went for a routine physical. His doctor told him that his kidney function was starting to decline, not severely, but the trajectory was clear. If nothing changed, he would likely need dialysis or a kidney transplant later in life. Mr. Chen was terrified. He went home and thought about it for days. He asked everyone he knew. He read whatever he could find. Someone, I think it was an older relative, told him that cooked tomatoes might help. It was not a scientific study. It was not a doctor's recommendation. It was just folk wisdom passed down through the family. But Mr. Chen was desperate. He figured he had nothing to lose, so he started eating cooked tomatoes every night. His method was simple. He would take fresh tomatoes. He would blanch them quickly in boiling water, 10 or 20 seconds. Just like I taught you, he would peel off the skins, then he would stir fry them in a small pan with a little sesame oil, a clove of crushed garlic, and a few leaves of fresh basil. He would eat that small dish with a bowl of rice. That was it, nothing fancy. No expensive supplements, no complicated recipes. Year 1, his kidney function stopped declining. The downward trend flattened out. Year 5, his kidney function actually started to improve very slowly, but it was moving in the right direction. Year 10, he went back to his doctor for his annual physical. The doctor looked at his lab results, then looked at Mr. Chen, then looked at the lab results again. He said, "Mr. Chen, your kidneys are better now than they were 10 years ago. I do not have an explanation for this." Year 40 now, at 80 years old, Mr. Chen takes no medications for his kidneys. None. He does not see a kidney specialist. He just eats his nightly cooked tomatoes. I asked him once, "Do you ever get bored? 40 years of the same dish every night." He laughed, a big warm laugh. He said, "At first, I just liked the taste. Cooked tomatoes with garlic and oil are delicious. Then I noticed I felt better, more energy, better sleep. Then I saw my lab results improve. Now it is just part of my life. If I skip a day, I feel like something is missing." He looked at me and said something I will never forget. He said, "Doctor, people think health is complicated. They think they need expensive things, specialties from faraway places, supplements in fancy bottles. It is not true. Health is simple, a tomato. Cooked with a little oil every day. That is the secret." Mr. Chen is not a doctor. He is not a scientist. He is just a regular person who found something that worked and stuck with it for 40 years. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. The 30-day tomato health challenge. Now I want to invite you to do something with me. I want you to take the next 30 days and put these 6 secrets into practice. Not perfectly, not all at once, but step by step. I have designed this challenge to be gentle. This is not about willpower. This is about building small, sustainable habits that add up over time. Here is the 30-day plan. Week 1, change the basics. Days 1 and 2, stop adding sugar to your tomatoes. Switch to a tiny pinch of salt instead. That is it. Just make that one change. Days 3 and 4, practice blanching. Take 2 or 3 tomatoes, boil water, blanch for 10 to 20 seconds. Pour the water out. Notice how easy it is. Notice how the skins slip right off. Days 5 through 7, eat cooked tomatoes with oil once every day, just once. Make a small batch of tomato sauce. Stir fry some tomatoes with olive oil, add a few tomato cubes to your soup. The goal is simply to get the habit started. Week 2, make it practical. Days 8 through 10, make a batch of tomato ice cubes. Set aside 1 hour on a Sunday morning or a weekday evening. Follow the steps I gave you. You will have tomato cubes in your freezer for the rest of the month. Days 11 through 14, try 3 different cooked tomato dishes: tomato egg drop soup, tomato scrambled eggs, tomato and beef noodle soup, or whatever sounds good to you. Variety makes habits stick. Week 3, build the routine. Days 15 through 17, after you eat your tomatoes, do the 3-minute belly massage. Set a timer on your phone, make it a ritual. Days 18 through 21, start paying attention to how you feel. Keep a simple log, just a few notes each day. How is your energy, your sleep, your digestion, your skin? Most people start noticing small improvements in week 3, week 4. See the results days 22 through 25. Compare how you feel now to how you felt 30 days ago. What has changed? What is better? Write it down days 26 through 28. If you have known kidney concerns, go to your doctor and ask for a basic metabolic panel blood test. This will show your potassium level and your creatinine level. See if anything has changed days 29 and 30. Come back to this video, scroll down to the comments, share your results. Tell us what worked, what was hard, what did you learn, how to join the challenge. It is simple. Just go down to the comments section right now and type "I am taking the 30-day tomato challenge." That is it, you are in. And here is a small incentive. The first 10 people who complete the full 30 days and post an honest, detailed comment about their results will get a free 15-minute video health consult with me. No charge, no product to buy, just a real conversation about your health, your labs, and your goals. I will read every single comment. I will pick the winners myself. Quick summary: the 6 secrets. Let me put all 6 secrets in one place so you can write them down or screenshot them. Secret number 1, no sugar, a tiny pinch of salt instead. Secret number 2, cook your tomatoes for at least 30 minutes. Secret number 3, always add 1 to 2 tablespoons of healthy oil. Olive oil is great. Secret number 4, if your kidneys are not perfect, blanch first for 10 to 20 seconds and pour the water out. This removes about 1/3 of the potassium. Secret number 5, after eating, massage your belly gently in a clockwise circle for 3 minutes. Secret number 6, make tomato ice cubes for busy days. Blanch, blend, simmer, freeze. Use 2 or 3 cubes in any hot dish. How much to eat for healthy adults with normal kidney function? About 2 large tomatoes or 15 cherry tomatoes per Dalton Y is reasonable. For anyone with reduced kidney function, diabetes, high blood pressure, or age over 60, cut that amount in half and always blanch first. And talk to your own doctor about your personal potassium target. How to choose tomatoes at the store. Look for bright red tomatoes. The deeper the red, the more lycopene. Look for tomatoes that feel heavy for their size. That means they are juicy and fresh. Look for tomatoes that have a small heart-shaped pattern on the bottom near the stem. That is a sign of good quality. Do not buy green, unripe tomatoes. They contain a compound called solanine, which can be toxic in large amounts. Always wait for tomatoes to ripen to a full red color before eating them. How to store tomatoes: leave unripe tomatoes on your kitchen counter at room temperature. They will continue to ripen naturally. Once they are fully ripe, you can eat them right away. If you are not going to eat them within a day or 2, put them in the refrigerator, or better yet, turn them into tomato ice cubes right away. A final word from your family doctor. Every time I think about Mrs. Lynn sitting in my exam room crying, her hand shaking as she held mine, saying, "Doctor, tomatoes nearly killed me," I feel a heaviness in my chest. She was not lazy. She was not careless. She was trying. She was trying so hard to take care of herself, and the information she found was incomplete. It was not wrong. Tomatoes really are healthy, but it was incomplete. No one told her that for some people with some kidneys. A raw tomato every morning is not medicine. It is a slow, quiet danger. I do not want that to happen to you. I do not want that to happen to your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, or your friends. So please, if you know someone who eats tomatoes regularly, especially if they are over 60 or have diabetes or have high blood pressure, or have ever been told their kidneys are not perfect, share this video with them, not to scare them, to empower them. One small change in how you prepare your food can mean the difference between running on the beach at 80 years old and spending a night in the cardiac ICU. You do not have to do everything I said today. That would be overwhelming. Pick one thing, maybe this week. Just stop adding sugar to your tomatoes. Maybe next week, try cooking them with olive oil. Maybe the week after, make a batch of tomato ice cubes. Small steps, consistent steps. That is how Mr. Chen got his 50-year-old kidneys at 80 years old. That is how you build health that lasts Two final requests. Request number one, get your regular checkups. See your primary care doctor at least once a year. Ask for a basic metabolic panel blood test. This test costs very little. It is usually covered by insurance with just a small copay, and it tells you your potassium level, your creatinine level, and your kidney function. Your kidneys work silently. They do not complain. By the time you feel symptoms, fatigue, leg weakness, tingling fingers, things are often advanced. A simple blood test can catch problems early when they are easiest to manage. Request number two, if this video helped you, please do 3 small things right now. First, hit the like button. It sounds small, but it really helps the YouTube algorithm show this video to more people who need it. Second, share this video with 3 people you actually care about. Text them the link right now. Do not wait. You could save someone from making the same mistakes Mrs. Lin made. Third, leave a comment below. Tell me you are taking the 30-day challenge, or tell me one thing you learned, or ask me a question. I read the comments, I answer when I can. This channel is not about me, it is about us, regular people trying to live healthier, longer, better lives. This video is for educational purposes only. I am a board-certified family physician, but I am not your family physician. Every person is different, every medical history is different, every set of lab results is different. The information in this video is general educational information. It is not personalized medical advice before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have known kidney disease, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, or if you take medications for blood pressure or potassium. Please schedule a visit with your own primary care doctor. Your doctor knows your full history. Your doctor can order the right tests. Your doctor can help you make a plan that is safe for your specific body. I am here to help you understand the science. I am not here to replace professional medical advice. If you are dealing with any health concerns, please call your doctor's office today and make an appointment. You have more power over your health than you think you do. It is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is not about doing everything at once. It is about doing one small thing consistently over time. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. I genuinely believe that every single person deserves a healthy, vibrant, independent later life, not just a long life, a good life. A life where you can run on the beach at 80, a life where you can play with your grandkids without getting winded, a life where you are not afraid of your food. Let us walk this road together, slowly, steadily, with a little bit of joy. Take good care of yourself. I will see you in the next video.